I'm not worried about this crypto dump. When I woke up this morning and I looked at my coin tracker portfolio and I saw it was down $20,000 from 2 days ago, I felt calm inside. That for me says everything's going to be okay. Now, I know when one's trading, you do technical analysis, but I also do like to use my gut instinct as well. And I'll share why in a moment and how that's worked for me. But I'm certain, and let's see what happens. I'm certain in August 2021, the portfolio is going to be up. I feel good about it. I'm going to show you why in a moment, what I think, looking at the charts, and then just a bigger perspective of what we have to come. I feel it's important to use a balance of technical analysis, but also intuition. Intuition from the standpoint of when it's really grounded, when your emotions are clear, your common sense works for you. It works well and it guides you in the right way. The only time your intuition doesn't work is when you get emotional. And cryptocurrencies are an absolute roller coaster. So I'm going to share with you how I think to move through this. Personally, I'm going to be hodling. I'm hodling my Bitcoin, my Ethereum, and all my altcoins. I'll also be showing you the GRT chart and looking at that alongside Bitcoin and why I feel really bullish about everything despite the massive dump. I'm Joanna Garzilli. This is Crypto Angel Network. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And also, if you haven't already, make sure to light up that bell so you get my time-sensitive notifications. So let's get into, I'm going to share my screen now and walk you through why I feel calm. I feel calm. When I get a I found when I get a really like, sort of feeling, then I know that it is time to take a different action. But at this point in time, I just know that I feel like it's isolated weather. It's a storm we're going to weather. It's not a big deal. And when we look at the news information and some of the influence that happened in the meantime, I think you'll see why. Of course, you've got to do your own due diligence. You have to make your own choices. But for someone new coming to crypto, let's say you're new, you just bought into the space, you're excited because the market was pumping. There's that high feeling that does come with crypto, which is very, very dangerous too. And for someone like myself who is naturally obsessive and addictive as well in nature, which is a good thing because when it's working well, there's a focus, but it can also be one's downfall. So it's being able to know the difference of when to step away from something, when to quit while you're ahead, also when just to ride through something. So here with Bitcoin right now, what I have here, the chart I have up is the based over a 1 day period. So look here, can you see where the arrow is? This is the end of January. And for me personally, I started buying back in at the end of December at different price. Gosh, let's see, at around 90. No, before that, actually, in October. But we had some Bitcoin at around 18,500, 19,500. Bought some at 23,000. So, even despite the dump, for me personally, it's still up. I remember I bought also more Bitcoin as it was pumping in January. And at the peak of that, it went up, it hit a line of resistance of around 42,000. And then it came back down into those low 30s. And it even went down to 29,000. And I just hodled and just held on to it and bought on some of the dips as well. Small amounts, little by little, dollar cost averaging. And so just watching it go on a meteoric rise right now up to close to 60,000, how could we not have a correction? Retracement is always inevitable. I was thinking about it early this morning when I was driving my son to school, that I feel like the volatility of crypto is a lot like nature. And what is driving the markets is us as human beings. And at times our flight or fright syndrome can really lead us to do things that are not in our best interest. Sometimes they protect us, sometimes they harm us. And so it's knowing the difference between when is there really a Bitcoin emergency, when is there a crypto emergency, get out now, save what you can, versus everything's okay. This is just part of how one is hardwired at a human level. So you'll see here, we went, we had that all-time high in the market, which is I bought in around here, and then boom, it came down. But it never, at the time, I love Crypto's channel. His technical analysis is incredible. I've learned so much from him. And when he was talking about the market could go either way, we would go up and break through that 40,000, 42,000 mark, and we would go up to around 50, 55, even 60. He was absolutely spot on. He had also said at the time, look, if we go bearish, we could go all the way down to 20, around 20,000, maybe even 18,000. And we didn't, we held. We held really strong there. We held right around this 30,000 mark. And like I said before, that's where I bought back in, actually bought in at just below 29,000. Then we went on this absolute tear, right? Just up, 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 up. How could we not be in for a retracement? I feel it's like sometimes if you push yourself hard in anything in life, you can't, we're not just machines. We need time to recharge and regroup. And yes, blockchain, crypto, it's 24/7, 365 days a year. It's built on top of mathematical protocol. But we as humans are the ones that are investing. We are crypto investors and traders into the marketplace. So how can one sustain? There has to be a period of regrouping. And it is, I just feel like there's a natural cycle to it. So it's not like we're dumping all the way down. Yes, we dumped, but it's not like and I wasn't in this when Bitcoin went down to 3,000. I wasn't in that. My understanding from Ivan on Tech, who I'm studying with him now to get blockchain certified, is that when we really do go down, it's immediate. You just go all the way down. It's like one of those rides at Knott's Berry Farm, right? Just like woof, straight down. There's a feeling of there's no bottom. And right now I see, yes, we're dumping, but we're not going all the way down. And then you'll see my green line here, right? This line of support at around 30,000. Now, even if we go down, let's say we dump all the way down to 30,000, which could happen. And even then, I'm still not worrying. I am hodling. I think I will be surprised if we go to that. And let's say worst case scenario, I can't imagine us going below 21,000. Worst case scenario, 18,500. And the reason I say that is because if you go and you look here at MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, right? Look at this. This was an official press release that he announced over $1 billion in total Bitcoin purchase in 2020. He has gone massively into the crypto DeFi space because he's visionary. He sees what Bitcoin is and has a deep understanding of the technology of blockchain. And he's sharing that with all his friends in the financial world. And you've got all these humpback whales that have just bought in. When everything's going down, like how it's dumped right now, us retail folk, right, Glassnode refers to us as shrimp. I'm a shrimp. That it's easy just to panic and to sell. I've done that before, and I'm not making that mistake again. again, they always say within the space of investing, don't invest what you can't afford to lose. And of course, I don't want to lose anything, but I'm prepared to take that risk. I'm a shrimp and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay, I feel like I can be in the ocean with those humpback whales. At first I couldn't, I was tumbled around. It was crazy. It was terrifying. But I'm finding that crypto mindset that is needed, it's just stay calm. If you center yourself, you're going to know what you need to do. You're going to know what's right for you in conjunction with looking at the charts. And so I want to show you here this article that just came out from CNBC. MicroStrategy CEO says Bitcoin will one day have 100 trillion market value even as price dives. I agree. I don't think that this is lofty because as folk in the retail are selling because they're freaking out because they heard from a friend to buy in, the market went up into, up to some, maybe they heard around 55,000. They bought in at 58,000, maybe even 59,000. And now suddenly this dumped to 46,000 and they're freaking out and they're just going, I got to get out. I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell now. I'm done. And so, I mean, when you don't know what you don't know, but Michael Saylor's friends they're buying up those dumps. And also we've got to remember that there is market manipulation happening right now. BitBoy has done extensive research with his team on F2 mining pool and how they are just, rather than spacing out how they sell, there are these massive dumps. I don't think we're done with that. Sometimes, there's that thing of Kotodama. Kotodama is when things happen in threes. We've had two massive dumps. One was last Sunday on Valentine's Day. We just had yesterday, Monday, the 22nd. And now here we are. I think next week, probably right around the beginning of March, around March 1st, we could have another third dump. I mean, F2 pool is being called out, but that's not stopping them. They don't care. They sold over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. So I would just say, where are we going to be? Where are we going to be in August? Like, I feel that we're going to be in a good place. We're going to be, this is going to be, you're going to be happy if you went into Bitcoin even now at around, you went in at around 50, 55,000. I would imagine we're at around 100,000. Maybe it's 85,000, maybe it's 150,000, because more and more people are becoming aware of cryptocurrency. So I would say just hang in there. I'm hanging in there. Look, a bold prediction. I mean, I think it's actually very, very realistic based on the research, even my simple basic research of blockchain and how DeFi is this emerging industry, sort of like how we went from intranet to internet. So, look, I would get worried if Michael Saylor and all his friends and all these humpback whales were selling. But you've got huge institutions where their portfolios with bonds and gold have not performed, and maybe they had 1% in digital assets, or they had none. And they're talking to one of their friends in the space who ended up getting an absolutely massive return. So, I would say, look, go and do your own due diligence. But, these articles, it's like, oh, Bitcoin's dipping below 50,000 per unit. Whoa, my gosh, freak out. But look, up 60% since the start of the year. And more than 360% in the last 12 months. So much of like this, if you're an entrepreneur as well, you understand this. It's like when you're going through your year in business, it can feel, oh my gosh, things aren't working out. It feels so unsettling because you're getting outside of your comfort zone. But then by the end of the year, you see that you've had successes. It's in my book, Big Miracles, I talk about in rule 11, it's get outside your comfort zone. And it's that thing of getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I just want to show you, speaking of getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, that here, I mean, look, it's like down, down, down. Everything is down. Now is a great time to buy. Gosh, I wish I could buy more right now. I want to show you my portfolio because I don't want to just show you things when they're up. I'm like, hey, look, it's up, it's up. One has to know the risk. My portfolio is down 14.44% in this past day. So you can see here my net deposits, $23,739. And I have right now a total return today of $21,000. It's still good because I bought GRT at 33 cents. I bought Bitcoin, that I'd kept in the early 20s and low 30s, with a little bit on that higher end, like I said, towards in the low 40s. So, but if you looked at my portfolio 2 days ago, and you would see that my portfolio was over 50,000, and then it was also up over 60,000. I've had it at 64,000. I mean, and look, it's all relative, isn't it? Depending on if one had, imagine if this had been, instead my net deposit had been 250,000. I mean, that's part of the risk of cryptocurrency, of trading. I do believe that eventually the volatility is going to calm down and there will be less opportunity to make high returns as more and more people come into the space. So I feel as well, 2021 is a magical year for being able to get in there. And you can see from the portfolio I'm holding, so my graph is still up, even though we've gone through this crazy dip. And I want to just look at graph with you in a second. It follows Bitcoin. It follows what happens there. I feel like it's, it's like the echo of it there within the DeFi space. And my Bitcoin's still up despite this dump because my average price there was 30,968. But going back a little while ago, if you'd see my portfolio when Bitcoin was at that price of around 30 something and I bought in at 40 something, it was it was like very tiny profits and actually negative. So that's why I've come to the conclusion that hodling is a really smart thing to do. If that's your long-term strategy, is instead of having your money in a savings account or built some type of building society, I feel like crypto is a fantastic space to do it if you're not looking at the day-to-day volatility. And there is a day-to-day volatility, but this is because we are still in the infancy of crypto, of DeFi, that it really is getting established. And so that's normal. There are these, it's like when you're learning to walk, you fall down a lot. And I feel that is what's happening. And so it's just a part of the natural process. And here, I just want to share briefly the Harmony. I talked in another video. I have a video on Harmony 1. I bought 50,000 of them. What a time to buy. You see, look, I'm negative right now, 23.29%. I'm upside down on this and I'm not worried because when I look at that founding team, I have huge confidence in them, what they're doing, and their focus on interoperability. So I'm just not worried. What a time to buy Harmony right now. Oh my gosh. If I had some spare cash, I would be buying up Harmony. I would be buying up Graph. I just got into Ravencoin at 7 cents, so I'm still up there. That's a great token as well. I think Polygon is absolutely fantastic. A new Cypher right now is down to 77. I imagine sometime in mid-April, they could be even at $2. Now is the time to buy because of these dips. And let me just go to Graph with you a moment. And I can't wait to show you again when my portfolio is back up, just so you can see those ups and downs, because it can be very unsettling when and I've had it those days when I go, gosh, I write in my journal, I didn't feel so good today, or I felt low. That's normally because my portfolio wasn't doing as well. And then when it's up, I'm feeling great on that day. But I don't want my whole mood and whether I feel confident or whether I am feeling really scared because of what's happening in the marketplace. I don't want to let that control how I feel. I'm not going to, and I feel I'm getting better at that. So look, I mean, you can see here with GRT. GRT went on that massive tear. It went parabolic a few days after Bitcoin went on that huge increase. And I still feel great about Graph. I made the mistake of getting it back in December, buying it, transferring onto Bitcoin, then selling it, just having a panic because I didn't understand. I just didn't understand enough about how the markets worked. And I'm holding onto this. I'm not worried at all. So, of course, this is not investment advice. Do what feels right for you. But if you have just bought GRT, let's say you bought even at $2 something, and you see the price at where it is now, and and we could go even more bearish on this. When you look at here, when you look at this run where this arrow here is, right before that, it was having a lot of resistance at the dollar mark, and then it broke through, right? And it went from just under $1 to almost $3. And then we've gone through sideways. We tried to break through. We had almost several breakthrough, where we were about to break out. And then here we are, because, the altcoin market is very much affected by the Bitcoin market as well, as what I see. I do see it has that overarching effect. I hear people say within the space that when Bitcoin is down, altcoins are up. Yes. And vice versa, because people are sometimes taking in and out of one. I did it myself in December, where I thought, oh my gosh, look, Bitcoin's going up, Graph isn't doing so well, it had gone down, let me go and move everything. I'm not doing that now. I look at just how can I expand my portfolio little by little. But I'm not worried about this with Graph. Even with it dumping down, let's say, for example, it comes back down. Let's say it goes all the way down to around $1, 90 something cents. And that could happen. It could. I mean, we have a support line here. I've got it at around, 120, but realistically, it's around $1. I'm not worried about it, because where do I see Graph by, let's say, August, 6 months from now? I think Graph's going to be on the conservative side. I would say $4 on the conservative side. Could be $5. It really could be $5 by August, because of all the people that are coming to the space. And then we have to remember the innovations, the progress that these different organizations, teams, right? Because it's decentralized, teams who are within the decentralized finance space. They're working so hard. So I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried at all about this. And so I would just say, in conclusion, if you've just come into crypto, you were excited, you heard from a friend, or you saw something that went, oh, okay, I'm going to take a risk here, I'm going to go into crypto, and you are hurting right now and everything is down, please, I truly believe everything is going to be okay. And even if we dump down more, I am not concerned. 6 months from now, we're going to be in a really, really, really good place. By the end of the year, even better. So I would focus, if I were you, I would just focus on hodling and buying on those dips and doing some dollar cost averaging. You can do that. You can set that up through Coinbase. You can do it through Binance or whatever exchange that you're on. And then just so that maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to be staking all of my crypto that I can stake. I'm going to stake my Ethereum once that goes live on Coinbase. I'm going to be staking my GRT. I'm looking at doing that with staking rewards. I'm going to be staking my Harmony One. I'm probably going to just, for simplicity, do that on Binance US. And I'm just going to stick with it. And I hope that I get to, in a future video, be able to look back at this one and go, see, look when things this dump, and it was scary. But now look, things are so much further along. So this is where we have to have faith that we don't yet have the evidence of the outcome. But when I look at Michael Saylor, and he's a full-on billionaire, and Elon Musk with Tesla buying into space, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. The only reason one would be worried if you don't have enough money to pay your rent, to pay your bills, and that's a priority. That comes first. So one doesn't ever want to invest in when you're not taking responsibility for other financial commitments that you already have. Please share your comments below. What do you feel about this crypto dump? What do you feel? Are you going to stick with things? Are you going to hodl? And if you've been in a massive dump before, if you were in that dump where it went down to 3,000 and it was terrifying, I'd love to hear how you got through that. What was the mindset that you had? What did you do? So yeah, let me know. And please, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Crypto Angel Network. Light up that bell so you get my time-sensitive notifications. Please, go ahead and share these videos on your social if you feel that it brings some value. I hope it does. I wish someone had shared with me this information I'm sharing with you now when I first came into the space. I'm Joanna Garzilli. This is Crypto Angel Network. Thank you for being here with me, and I will see you next time.